That's it. So there's a beautiful true story which we had I verified of a couple that got married. Beautiful things, Sheva brachas, everything was bliss. And as life has it, the bills start coming in, the air conditioner breaks down, things happen as is the journey of life, and they started really grinding on each other, months, years, and this was not looking good. This couple was holding ot. They went from one marriage counselor to the next. One guy came up with the idea that they should go to Rav Chaim, I think it's Scheinberg, that's all, former Rosh Yeshiva of Torah Or. So Rosh Yeshiva said to them, here's the deal. I understand you've got an impasse here, this is a breakdown. I have no problem giving a heter to get divorced, but I'm going to ask you just for 2 weeks, and 2 weeks only, I want you to focus just on the strength of the other person, just for 2 weeks, and just during this 2-week Tekufa, every second night, I want you to watch the video of your chasana. That's it. Come back to me in 2 weeks. If you're still throwing pots and pans at each other, I personally will make sure that I'll be at the best in showing. 2 weeks later, they came back to Rav Chaim, Rav Pinchas, and obviously the decision was not to go through Masech Gittin, and they lived happily ever after. So what was Rav Pinchas thinking, and how's it against the Parasha? So in this week's Parasha, we learned about the Begadim and certain things about the Kohen HaGadol, and he wore a headband called a tzitz, right? And what the Rashi actually says that he had to actually keep touching. There's a certain thing that was engraved in the front of the headband. Why? So the Mephoshim say that it was really to remind himself of, firstly, that he's the Kohen HaGadol, and the whole purpose of why he's there. This is ridiculous. The Kohen HaGadol, like he's going to suddenly think that he's a baseball player? So there's two things that Rabbi Victor Zatzal said, which is unbelievable. Firstly, the power of habits. When you keep doing something, you pick up certain habits and it becomes habitual, and you can be, and you can suddenly be functioning like an automaton. It's a very dangerous thing because we have a religion which places a point on your kavana, and you also forget why you're there. So it seems that the Chachma of Rav Scheinberg was that, firstly, the bad habits they picked up for 2 weeks, and now what he did was he made them focus purely on the positive and remind themselves why they got married in the first place, and obviously it worked. So we see in all of our lives that we pick up certain habits, and unless you make a pivot, you're going to get where the habits are going. So that's probably not by chance. The best-selling book of all time, in the self-help book, is Steve Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Successful People. Why? If you want to change an action, you want to change your behavior, you've got to focus on a habit. So it's not against this element at all, but there are some people that don't have outstanding habits or actions, behaviors, and maybe the GPS is going off course. So the answer from Scheinberg and from this Parasha, don't try the action, the behavior, don't try overnight. Pick 1 or 2 habits that have become almost like, if you function like an automaton, try and do the exact opposite. If your person comes late, make sure for Tekufa you come early, and that's the best answer to change an action so it becomes ingrained, and so you function with your head and not like a machine.